Have you ever, many of our members wrestled with this guilt of going to work and leaving their babies at home, specifically even when they're young. Have you ever wrestled with guilt?
Oh, absolutely. And that's something I don't think that ever goes away. When I had my daughter, I was actually a school teacher, and it was hard to teach during the days and be with my child. So I made the decision to stay at home for a few years, and was blessed that when I did start going back to work, I had my mother nearby to watch her. So that was a transition we had to do. But in the end, what I found worked better for our family was for me to work opposite of my husband. So I work nights and weekends, and as a result, can't really be a school teacher nights and weekends. I ended up making a pretty big career change by going into retail. I started working in a children's bookstore, and here I am working at the biggest children's themed store. So it wasn't a big stretch from what I was doing in teaching, but it helped accommodate my family's lifestyle better.
I'd love to touch on that a little bit more, that you were a school teacher and now here you are managing a staff of 300 and then some, because I feel as if many of our members sort of had this particular position before and they don't feel as if they can do anything else. If they were a school teacher, that's all they are.
Right.
So what advice do you have to them on how to use transferable skills and actually follow their passion or dream, even if it isn't once what they were?
It was a huge struggle that I had when I was younger. When I was first beginning my career.
You were younger.
Yeah, I was younger. I like to still say I'm younger. Basically, where I was at was, since I was in grade school myself, I was always going to grow up and be a school teacher, and that's what I was going to be. And when I got to a point in my life where I was debating if I was going to continue being a teacher, I remember my husband saying, just because you were a teacher doesn't mean you have to be a teacher. There are other opportunities out there for you. And, being in education, communication skills and being able to work with people and training and development, that was something that was transferable to any field. And I do a lot of that. But, I said I have a staff of 300. About 85% of them are 15-year-olds and they're applying for their first job. And it's like being a school teacher. I'm their guidance counselor. I help them develop professional skills. I use a lot of what I did as an educator in my everyday job. So it really is something that you sort of have to say, not necessarily what's my title, but what can I be, and what do I have to offer to a workplace, and bring those skills out and really develop those.
I think that's great advice. So we shouldn't be afraid.
No,
at the end of the day.
No, because if you are afraid, that's going to hold you back from taking on a new opportunity. And 15 years ago, would I have ever said that I'd be working full time at Sesame Place and be overseeing this much staff and these many locations? No, I thought I'd be in a self-contained classroom teaching 5th graders. But I wouldn't trade that part of my career path or this part of my career path, and just a different opportunity.